phones going. How's everybody doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's good to be able to have some tea time with people. I'm Jesse, I'm your tea guy for just joining. It's great to be able to have tea and be able to share what's going on and just have some time to be able to chill. Clive Meow says, sup, how you doing, Tyler? Hello, friend Tyler. It's great to be able to see everybody. Say hi in the chat. Let me know where you're from. Nate Gomez, how you doing? What's up? Daniel Rosehart, good to Dante said I'm good. People are just coming on. Natalie Bangtan says hello. Hi Jesse. Great to see everybody. OBJJ from Michigan. Great to see you guys here. It's super great to be able to hang out together. I'm just going to do a little bit of tea on the porch. And we have all sorts of new stuff that's happening in the tea company. I figured that people would be wanting to ask questions, so I'm here if anybody has any questions. Welcome, Ronhelfen from Germany. Sauce Victoria, Massachusetts, my homeland. I'm originally from Newton. So I'm definitely there to hang out with all my Massachusetts people. It's great. I'm very excited. People are giving us congratulations. Thanks so much. It's been a super big month in terms of a lot of stuff that we've been working on. We have a new website that's launching tomorrow. So go and check out the website, even if only just to see what it looks like. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have also new teas. The 3 spring green teas just arrived. This is the Longjing. This is the Bilochuan. And then also, of course, we have the white Anji green tea. Those just arrived. Everything is arriving at once because we were caught for about 7 weeks by the trade war, where everything piled up and then came at once when the trade war hit, like, whatever it is now. And then, of course, we have one of the subscription teas, which I'm going to be making for you today. This is the Red Jade Red Tea. You can check it out right here. It's been very cool. CJ has said, been buying from Jesse since 2022. Glad to see how it's grown. Thank you so much, man. OG follower, 2022. I started this in January of 21. But 22 is still very early. It's a long time ago. So it's great to be able to see everybody here. And just thank you so much, Miss Dreamer, for the like. I appreciate it. We're going to have the Red Jade. So here's the thing about the Red Jade. I'm actually going to angle this a bit because you're getting hit right by that building. We have 3 phones, by the way, going over here. So if I'm moving my eyeline around, that's why. So the Red Jade number 18, what does that mean? So in Taiwan, where this comes from, they have a system where they number each of the varietals of tea. So the tea plant is all Camellia sinensis or Camellia assamica or some sort of mix of the two. And where that specific seed varietal is actually like intellectual property, it's registered with the government, and in order to grow it, if you can't just say it's Red Jade, it needs to actually be the Red Jade. And that's partially for marketing purposes, but also partially to maintain tea quality, which I actually really like about the Taiwanese system. It's a little bit more organized in the mainland. And this comes from the Sun Moon Lake area of Taiwan. And this, I'm super glad to be able to get on the site. OGs will remember we used to sell some of this, but it was actually from a friend of mine's shop, and it wasn't like the tea that I sourced, it was the tea that he sourced. So there was an extra middleman in the way, and it made it a little bit more expensive than it had to be. So I'm actually able to have better quality Red Jade at a lower price than we used to have it, and included in the subscription, which is why it's here. So I'm very excited to be able to have everybody on for the tea time. And I'm going to start making this. This is the first box that I've been ever opened of my own Red Jade. I have the sample, but I've never been able to open it up, get the tin going here. Gonna get the top of the tin off. I should have brought like a knife, but of course I'm a caveman, so my nails will be good enough. Open it up. Big bag of the red tea. It comes also with the steeping instructions, a card, info, steeping instructions, video, and of course a bag closer so that you guys can do that. Let me grab my scissors. Should have prepared. Might be able to tell I'm not really a live streamer. Cutting open the bag. And I'm going to show you guys what this looks like because they're really pretty leaves. Oh, yeah, that's it. Very, very nice. So the red jade, I personally like this stuff because it has like, there's a lot going on. It's got a nice minty aftertaste. I almost get some like cinnamon in there as well. I'm also going to use this opportunity to show you. Everyone's always like, how do you use this? What is this? How do you use it? This is a bag closer. The way that this thing works is that when you open a bag of tea, some types of tea are going to lose quality with air. This red tea, I'm not super worried about it, but it's still good to be able to seal up this red tea because it's just going to make it cleaner. For oolongs and stuff like that, especially green tea, it's really necessary. You see it's got like a little spike in there, and then it's got like the round area. You line it up so that the spike goes in there, and then you just slide it closed. And now you got your closed bag. Great. And again, just we're trying to think of all the little things we can make to make being a subscriber and being in the tea club like excellent. Got great questions over here. Hey Jesse, with one of the teas, GABA, I think having a sort of medicinal sub-theme from the GABA, does this detract from the tea's quality? That's from Andy Rossi. The other tea that's in the subscription this cycle is the GABA oolong. And so I don't say, like, having a high GABA count doesn't make the tea bad or good from like a flavor perspective, but it can be a marketing gimmick. So we looked for a long time to find a tea that actually had like really good flavor and had a lot of GABA in it. The tea naturally has GABA in the tea, but by using a special technique, they can actually increase it. What they do is they take the tea during the tea making process and they put it in a anaerobic chamber. So they have a chamber, they suck all the oxygen out, and they insert nitrogen into the chamber. And when nitrogen is exposed to the tea, it creates more GABA because the GABA needs extra nitrogen in order to create more of itself. The molecules are all there, but the nitrogen kind of kickstarts that whole process. And so as a result, you can see that the GABA count will rise, and that's going to give you more of the GABA benefits. That being said, it's not medicine. Like don't if you're really sick, this is not going to like cure you. But it is a really good tea. I'm going to show you guys the tea leaves here for the red jade. Very, very beautiful leaves. You guys are a little tilted. There we go. That's a little bit better, right? There we go. How you doing? Questions from DMK. Where do you buy your teas? I lived in China for many years. I've traveled to Taiwan probably about 10 times. And I know the farmers there. So I know farmers. I have friends that run tea shops. And so I source my tea from my brand from the farms I know and the shops that I know. And so that's what I have on the website. So if it's on the website, it's people that I know. It's like from my period of living in China. I lived there for almost 10 years. So cheers. Red jade. Let's get started. So for this tea, you can do a wash. I'm gonna drink this wash because I want to know what it tastes like, and I can show you guys. I'm doing a very short steep for the wash so that I can keep as much of the power in there as possible. Oh yeah, that's what I love about this stuff is that fragrance. The fragrance is really, really excellent. Very clean. As I said, I almost get like a minty. Austin Swanson says the ETA when resins will be back in stock. They should be back tomorrow. We got a shipment in like 2 days ago. But they're just like getting them onboarded onto the system. So if all goes well, we won't be out of them for a long time. I bought a bunch. You can see the red tea there. Very clean. I don't know if you can see through it exactly. I don't know how the cameras work, whether the cameras are good enough to allow you to see through it. But very, very nice. Question, how do you know what temp the water is without all the fancy kettles? This kettle actually has a temperature control, but it's in my living room over there. So you can guess based off of if you take the kettle off and kind of put your hand above there and you see how hot it is. But for this tea, I'm just kind of chilling on the porch and I'm not super, super worried about being off by a degree or whatever. So questions, when can I buy the red jade? At midnight tomorrow. It's going to launch at midnight If you're a subscriber, you'll automatically get yours. If you're not a subscriber, this is the time to subscribe right at the beginning of the cycle. Get it with everybody else. Cheers. And I'm going to pour a little bit on our rat tea pet. This guy is the winner of our rat tea pet competition. Mariana is the artist who made this, and she won our competition. $200 in prizes, 20 of the tea pets, and she's going to get a portion of the sales from the tea pet. And then I designed this one, or rather I designed it, and then I hired an artist who spent many years learning how to do traditional Chinese painting, and I hired them to do what is surely the stupidest cup that they've ever painted, and it is Pizza Rat. It's Pizza Rat. There's a subway running behind him. He's in a tea garden, and this is a hand-drawn painting on the cup that we commissioned so that we could have an absolutely silly cup for our tea subscription. So here we go. Great, awesome, very cool. People over here, best cup ever. I'm so excited to show you guys that cup. I'm not sure I've shown that cup to anybody before. It's a masterwork, a total masterwork, in my opinion, my humble opinion. Cheers. Oh yeah, very sweet. The thing about the red jade is it's got, the sweetness comes in, and then it's got this extra thing going on too, which, like, it's almost like cinnamon if it wasn't spicy. I don't know if that makes sense. Like the flavor from the cinnamon, but without the heat. It's gonna be great. People are asking what was it's, but the wait was worth it. The wait's been 6 months. This is the box we were originally gonna be launching in May, but because of the trade war, we couldn't do it. So we had to move it back until now, and I think you guys will see that the wait is worth it. It's really good tea. We're also trying something a little different this time. Instead of doing 3 teas and doing 50 grams of each, we're doing 75 of the GABA oolong and then 60 of this. And the reason is because this is really expensive. And there just was no way that I could ever feature the red jade in the subscription and do 50 grams of it. I wanted to give people a little bit more and then a little bit more of the others. So you're actually getting almost the same amount of tea, but we're only doing 2, and that's the way of having the price of this stuff get to the point where I can actually get it to you. Because with the subscription, the price is already locked in, so I can't just like raise it by $5 1 month if I want to spend a little extra. So it'll be good. Questions over here. I'm going to start taking questions. Gabriel already says, is there a way for me to buy your teas in Brazil? You can order it from the website, jessieseahouse.com. It'll just take international shipping, and be aware there might be like taxes or fees or whatever when it arrives. User 73 something says, love your content. Thanks so much. The Cartoon Heathen says, have I ever tried yellow tea? Yeah, I like yellow tea. It's just kind of expensive and hard to find. I have a couple samples of it. We're looking at maybe getting some next spring. They don't make a lot of it. So what I found out is that our audience is kind of big enough that if I wanted to get a good yellow tea at a good price and enough of it, I kind of need to tell the farmers ahead of time that I want more of it, because they can make more, but it's not a huge market tea, even in China. That being said, it's really tasty. So it's definitely, it's something we're looking into to be able to do more of, but cheers. Enjoy, everybody. Welcome. Cheers. Does the rat have a name? That's a question from Deutzumania. Rat does not have a name yet. This is his first tea time out with the teas. I had one tea time with him previously in China when I got the sample, but this is, by the way, this is like the prototype. Not the prototype like that the artist made, but the first one to come out of the mold. That was like the test to see if it worked. So he's a good boy. You can check him out here. Look at this guy. I love him. I love him a lot. Questions. If you had a subscription before it paused, the old subscription will still work. Yes. If you didn't manually pause your subscription, it should trigger. If it doesn't, email tfriendsupport@jessieseahouse.com. The exceptions are international customers. So if we have people who are in Canada, EU, or UK, here's the updates. I'm going to be totally honest with you. We wanted everything to be perfect day one. It's not going to happen. Each of the 3 warehouses is behind schedule by a couple days to like a couple weeks. I'm determined to get this subscription box to you guys as soon as possible. Every sign says I'll be able to do it in August. But I honestly, like, I'm fed up with customs in the UK. I'm fed up with customs in the EU. We're going through customs for the first time in Canada. It's already a week longer than they said it would be. I, just as a human being, do not have control over how long it takes for them to get through. And it's like, it may be the way that the subscription works, that it's just like, we don't know exactly when it's coming to you. We want to have a specific day, but everything is going well, except for UK, which we have big problems, but we're solving them. But the UK shop, even though the subscription will not be available day one, the UK shop will still launch August 1st. It will have all our tea equipment. And the EU shop is already running. The Canadian shop will launch with all our tea equipment and basically all the tea that we have on the American shop. And it's going to be launching in like about a week if everything goes well. But again, I don't have control over the customs. We sent it there. It was there 2 weeks early. We gave them 2 weeks. They said it would take 4 days. We gave them 2 weeks. Not a one of them did it in the time that they told us it was going to happen. So we're working it out, but eventually we'll have it all running. And when that happens, it'll be super, super easy. I just picked a really hard time to be an international shipper, and the one time when international trade is falling apart and we're going back to the Stone Age. Cheers. Question, what's the price of the red jade? 60 gram tin is $32, or you can get it as part of the subscription box, which is $58. It's only $53 if you subscribe. So if you subscribe to the subscription, you basically get the other tea like half off, or this one half off, depending on how you want to look at it. You also get discounts on this if you buy 2 or 4 tins. It does get cheaper, but this stuff just there's no way around it. If you want real Sun Moon Lake West red tea, it's going to be expensive. The red jade is there is no cheap stuff of this. They don't make a lot of it. Sun Moon Lake is not huge. Taiwan is like a tea place, is already not huge. So like, you know, we're kind of dipping into a pretty shallow pool, and it's gonna be the way to do it. So cheers. Very, very cool. Aberzone says, "Hey T-boy, admit the Brits make the best tea." I will say I've only been to Britain twice. And both times I didn't really get a chance to go out of London, so I don't know that much about Britain in overall. I went to Oxford. I did an event in Oxford last time, but my impression has been the British have an excellent tea culture. And so my takeaway was that the British tea culture is way more evolved than the quality of the tea they drink in Britain. And I don't know. Well, I have guesses of why this is, but that's me as a tea guy. But I think it's an opportunity. I think there's a lot of people in Britain that like really care about their tea, and they're really going to enjoy good tea. And as soon as the Royal Customs allows me to send it in, it's going to be great. I probably have lost $5,000 from this shipment going to the UK because of this customs issue. We're going to have to send it back, get the papers again, send it again, pay for shipping both ways, air shipping 4 ways, 2 customs clearances. It's like, it's a total nightmare. But we will get it done, even if I don't make any money in Britain, and I'm not going to. But in the long term, hopefully we'll be able to get good tea to people in Britain, and I just want to fight this trend. I'm like really upset at this trend of the world closing down, and they're making it hard to do business, and they're making it hard to travel, and they're making it hard to get visas, and like, it's a really small way to be able to fight by doing my tea time. But like, I want to fight this trend. I've had an excellent time as living abroad in China, traveling around. You know, I'm very blessed to be able to see so many places, and the more places I go, the more I learn about people, the more I learn about people, the more I like people, the more I realize that a lot of these big political narratives are just not tied to reality. It doesn't fit the world that I've lived in with my body and my eyes. And you know, starting a tea company, even though I had to do everything double because of Brexit, you know, British people shouldn't suffer for that. We're going to get them good tea. It's just going to be a couple weeks later than we wanted to. So, cheers. Great questions, by the way. I apologize if I missed your question. Please repeat it. Yes, says, love your content, wanted to get into tea for ages. You finally helped me do it. Thank you so much. Gary says, we need more hearts, everybody. Thanks so much. Randomness area, it sucks, but you're a saint for spreading this tea globally. I'm trying, man. I'm really trying. That's all I can fall back on. I told everybody for months, August 1st. We really wanted to do it. Even today, I mean, it's the 31st. It's possible that they'll clear it today and it'll be there tomorrow. But we just don't know because customs does things at their own speed, whatever. Jade Deshane said, or G Deshane says, what any suggestions for first-time customer in the Canadian store? Yeah, the tea subscription is the best deal on the site. You get 2 to 3 teas per quarter. You get a discount on them. There's also tea pets and tea cups available, including Pizza Rat. Love it. Love me some pizza. That's a good one to start with. Also the 8T sampler. Because the Canadian import laws were very similar to the American laws, we were able to get almost all our American tea onto the Canadian site. The prices on the Canadian store will be in Canadian dollars, and they'll be shipping from, we'll have one warehouse in Vancouver and one in Toronto. So when the new website launches tomorrow, by the way, everybody, new website launching tomorrow, we've redone the website. One of the things that you won't see immediately, but we had to spend a lot of time and energy on, is that the website can now detect where you're logging in from, and automatically when you make your order, not only just put it in your local currency, but also find the closest warehouse to you that you can get shipped without any international shipping and without any customs fees. So if you're in the US, Canada, UK, or anywhere in the EU common market, there will be no more import tariffs. Whatever the United States does will not affect you unless you're in the United States. You'll be able to get your tea without having to have it shipped one at a time from China and having stuff lost. So it's going to be awesome. I think this is, when I thought about this as, when during COVID, when I was getting my tea over WeChat from my farmers, I was like, no one can do this. Like, I was like, I feel very lucky that I can WeChat the farmers and get my tea. But like, if you wanted good tea, it's hard to find that sort of thing in the States or in Canada or UK or EU, really anywhere outside of China. They just don't get Chinese tea. Good Chinese tea doesn't find its way out of China. So it's been great to be able to share that with everybody, and very excited. More questions over here. Emmy Lucille said, so excited for the new subscription. It's the first subscription box. Absolutely stoked. The teas sound amazing. They are really good. And for the quality that we're giving you, you actually get a lot of tea too. I'm going to show you here once I pour this out. So like, if you think of a tea bag, what you're dealing with, these are whole leaves. Big, unbroken, fat, nice looking tea leaves. That's a really good tea leaf. It's like, you're fighting uphill if you're using a powder. The powder steeps too quickly, the leaves have already been destroyed by all the blades. These all have to be hand-picked. That's part of the reason that they're better, is that they have people who have been doing it literally their entire life, hand-plucking the leaf. They pick it at just the right spot. They take the minimum of stem. Sometimes you can't avoid some stem, but there's no stem at all in that. There is no stem at all. And that's one of the things that we look for. A little bit of stem here and there is not the end of the world, but it's always a little bit of a trade-off. You want it hand-picked if you can get it. So, cheers everybody. Excellent. Questions over here. Anna Rossi says, Sakura white tea from Joy is absolutely my favorite tea I've tried so far. That tea is unreal good. I almost didn't put it in the subscription because I was like, this is too good. We got a really good price on that tea. That's part of the reason it tastes good, is I honestly think that tea, Joy is like my dude, and he's like such a great guy. He probably could charge 5 times what he charged me and get away with it because that tea is so good. Excellent. Questions, more questions. Will the Mandarin white tea ever come back from Goblin? Yes, it will. The reason it's out of stock is a combination of 2 things. One, we placed an order for 1,000 bags of it, but we messed it up. My team had a miscommunication, and so we accidentally got an extra 1,000 bags of the 3 Treasures Mandarin Peel White Tea. So we have a ton of that in stock and none of the other one. And then the reason we didn't restock it immediately after that was because I actually knew I was going to China, to Xinhui, in Guangdong province. I went there this last April with my whole tea team, and we were going there to scout for new Chenpi suppliers that can grow EU certified, highest global standard of pesticide and heavy metal use Chenpi, so that we can have one product in all of the stores. And so I knew that I would be sourcing even higher quality stuff, and so we're going to be remaking that tea, but with our new Chenpi, maybe sisterized white tea. I'm looking into it. So there's lots of there's movement on that, but especially with the company being a little bit bigger now, like, you know, figuring out a way to get a new tea on is actually a huge thing. Like, you know, because we do the whole thing. Like, we have packaging, we have steeping instructions, we have all sorts of stuff that is from this. So, cheers. Very, very cool. Sal says, hey, it's a tea guy. How you doing? Good to see you, Sal. Austin says the sun is up in Cali right now. It gets dark late here. It gets dark at like 8. It's the way to do it. So, awesome. Very cool. Can you tell us how, Asherly says, can you tell the quality of a good jasmine tea? Will you have more options than the flavor on the site? Great question. One, we just got restocked on our black jasmine, which is jasmine scented liubao tea. So if you haven't tried that, that's a real winner. A lot of people, I'm pretty sure there's at least a couple people in the chat that will back me up on this. The jasmine liubao, the black jasmine liubao is really good. The main thing to think about when you're looking at a jasmine tea is there's 2 types of ways that the tea makers get the jasmine scent in there. The first way is the way that most of the Western tea market does it, which is that they have fragrant oil. So basically they have like a fragrant jasmine scented oil, and they spray it on a green tea. So that way, if you go to a tea shop and you stick your nose in it, you get, boom, you get this enormous hit of jasmine, and it's almost a little sharp. It's almost like too much. That generally, the problem with that is that, 1, it's too much. 2, because it's scented oil, it just washes out in the first steep. And so you have this enormously potent first steep, and then after that you're left with usually a lower quality green tea with no jasmine in it. The better type of jasmine to get is the jasmine that has been aromatized. That's when they take the green tea and lay it out, and then they take flowers, they take jasmine flowers at night, and they lay them down, and at night the flowers send out their scent, and the scent goes into the green tea. This is also why tea absorbs scent very easily, and this is also one of the reasons why you want to keep it airtight. You don't want to keep your tea in your spice cabinet because it'll absorb the scent. If you get aromatized tea, they'll usually do it a couple times to make the fragrance even stronger. The jasmine that we have on the website is aromatized 4 times. So 4 nights in a row, they put the flowers, they take them off. They put the flowers, they take them off, on, off. And that creates a jasmine tea that when you smell it, it will smell like jasmine. It will smell good. It won't be like, whoa, immediately blast to the face, but it'll smell really good. And then that tea will also have the jasmine flavor kind of seep into the tea itself. So you're not just getting the fragrance, you kind of like taste the jasmine. It's really cool. I don't know the science about it. But Joe Cobb asked, new flowers each night? Yeah, new flowers each night. So this is part of the reason why good jasmine can get expensive, is because the flowers are, it's a lot of hand labor to pick the flowers. That being said, in China, this is a big market. Chinese people drink jasmine tea as well. So the amount of jasmine flowers, like if you have a jasmine tea that has green tea mixed with flowers, the amount of flowers in the tea doesn't really matter. In fact, a lot of people in China will remove every bit of the flowers because they want, it's higher class for it to be hidden, kind of. It's like if you have the flowers mixed in there, it can kind of look not as nice, they think. I think this is a personal taste. I don't think there's anything wrong with having the flowers in there. I had a jasmine tea in Beijing that was 9 times aromatized, so that was really intense. I actually thought it was almost a little bit too much, but that was like fancy tea house stuff. Yeah, so that's what I look for from the jasmine. So if you're buying jasmine from somewhere, everything on my site is aromatized. It's the good stuff. If you're buying jasmine from elsewhere, ask the provider whether it was sprayed with jasmine oil or whether it was aromatized. If they don't know, that's already not a good sign. But if it's sprayed with the oil, I generally think that's not the good stuff generally. And then it gets even more complicated because the tea base, like what type of green tea are you using? Are you using a low quality, a high quality? This is why jasmine, even though it's one of the tea types that's actually sold a lot in the West, it actually is harder than some to figure out what the good stuff is. Obviously, if you drink it and you like it, it's good tea. So, cheers. Excellent, good tea. I'm gonna reheat this water. I'll be back in 3 seconds. I should have brought the kettle out here, but it's too late now. It's not too late, actually, but yeah, cheers. Questions over here. It would be nice to have some standalone Chenpi on the site. That's from Gary Schreider. Yes, I agree. We actually did a lot of work to find a Chenpi. We sourced it in Xinhui. We had everything right. We sent it to do the pesticide testing, and it passed the American and Canadian test, but failed the UK and EU test. So I'm kind of, this is like the whole ass situation with the EU and UK has just been, they have different laws. Like all of that Chenpi is totally safe. They just have different laws, and if you don't grow it to that standard, it's hard to find the stuff that fits. And that stuff was organic. There was not a single bit of pesticide on it, and it still failed the test, and we don't know why. But we don't have money for this shit. Like, I'm paying for these pesticide tests, and I guarantee you, you go to Amazon, these people selling random stuff on Amazon, they're not paying $900 a pop for every tea to get the pesticide test, you know. $900, $900, $900, $900. Like, no one's doing it. And it's pissing me off because I'm trying to bring tea up to the point where we can do this, like, not a bunch of people going to a mountain and putting tea in their suitcase. Although, I mean, I have no issue with that. That's how I drink tea for many years. But for you guys, like, to actually run a business, I can't run a business going and, like, bringing stuff back in my suitcase, you know? So we're trying to do everything properly, and that's why I'm so pissed at the customs. It's like, no one else is doing it. We're trying to play by the rules, and we're just getting, like, slapped. So that's the way it goes. Anyway, questions over here. Will I be able to buy Red Jade in Canada tomorrow? Not tomorrow, but very soon. It's already arrived in Canada. It's going through customs. The Canadian store will be open in just a couple days. If you go to the new website tomorrow, you'll see a landing page which tells you the info. But it's all going to be coming very soon. They told us it would take 4 days to clear customs. It's been 2 weeks. I don't know. We got it there in time. But it will be there, and the Canadian shop will be really good. The Canadian shop will basically have everything the US shop has. So if you're like wondering what you want to get, you can actually go to the normal US shop right now, and you can see what we have available. I think everything there will be featured in the Canadian store. So it's going to be great. The AT sampler will be there. The subscription will be there. Almost all the tea equipment will be there. If it's not there, it's because it's like a tea pet from 3 years ago that we just don't stock anymore. We have Brett Stein Photography. Thank you for the work. Thank you, you guys, for showing up and drinking tea with me. It's great to be. I'm so honored to be your tea guy. Like I get to do tea all day. It's great, and I get to do comedy shows too, which is awesome. Somebody asked my grandpa. Mitch Crickety said, did my grandpa do comedy? No, he did not. My grandpa was an American history teacher in community college and in high schools. So I got my love for history from him, I suppose. Yeah, good old Grandpa Irwin. My other grandpa was a neon sign maker, and he would blow the tubes of the neon signs and put them up in New York. So that's a job that doesn't exist anymore. That's crazy. Questions over here. Your teas and projects are beautiful. From Catherine, thank you so much. Thank you for the hard work. I really appreciate it. We're trying, man. We're trying really hard. I think we may. Oh, we're blocking all the stuff. We may. I'm an optimistic guy. I'm like, we can do it by August 1st. The world is crazy, man. It's a crazy time to be shipping stuff across borders right now and paying customs. But the focus is on the tea. The tea is really good, and I have faith that, if the politicians wanted to make the tea more expensive, that's their problem. I'm still going to get the good tea for whoever wants to drink it. It'll be a couple more dollars. Yuko says, I like to say I'm a tea guy when sharing one delicious teas with a friend. That's the way it works. This is the whole idea of this thing. It's like, in China, this is how it works. Like, I got my pu'er guy. I got my green tea guy. I got my Taiwanese tea guy. Like, I have them in WhatsApp or in Line or whatever the local chatting software is, and whenever I want tea, I'd go blah 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 that. There, go it out, and spread it out. It's that's the way. So that's what I'm trying to bring to this. Is like I don't have everything on the site. It's not meant to be the cheapest site, but it's also meant to give good value. It's just trying to do things the way I would want them to be done if I were buying my tea from that shop. So that's the way to do it. People saying, Gwendolyn says, Chinese tea was one of the things that was most upsetting about the tariffs. Yeah, especially because, like, I can't move a 1,000-year-old tree from China to America. It's just not possible. Like, I think that there's a reasonable case for tariffs in the case of, say, like, cars or, like, microchips or, like, sensitive stuff. But like, anyway, I don't want to make this political in a really hard conversation, but I know the dollar amount that I lost from that 6 weeks of the trade war, and it's quite a lot of money. But this is how money, you can make more money later. Money doesn't exist, it's all an idea. The most important thing is you have enough money to be able to live your life the way you want to, and there's stuff that I'd like to have that I don't have, but I get to drink tea and I get to hang out with you guys. I get to have my own tea company where I make my own tea pets. It's pretty good. The world doesn't owe us any more than that, So, questions over there. When does the Pizza Rat cup is here? When does the Pizza Rat Guy one drop? I don't know, but we hired the artist to paint it, so we own the rights to the Pizza Rat image. So we could put this on a Gaiwan at some point. I don't know. That would be pretty cool. Questions, Jesse Tea House. Do you plan to have a 2010 tea sometime soon? We do have a 2010 tea. No, we don't. I'm sorry. We have the 10-year reserve, which was, when is that from then? 2013, I think. So not quite there. But it close. We'll see. Maybe old one anyway later. Questions over here. But I can't wait to get the Pizza Rat cup. It's a great cup. Very, very fun. Question. I just finished AT sampler. I enjoyed every bit of it. I'm working on stopping up. How do you find pu'er that isn't fishy? The cooked pu'er, bad quality stuff is going to be fishy. Also, even the high quality stuff, I think some people are super tasters. I think some people are just so sensitive to that flavor that even in the high quality stuff, they still get a little fishy. But in general, like, you shouldn't be getting any fishy flavor from the cooked pu'er on my website. Even the cheapest one we have that big cake for 48 bucks, which is not, like, you can find cheaper pu'er than that, but I haven't found anything cheaper than that I, like, actually taste good and I'm going to finish the whole cake. Because there's nothing more disappointing than buying a big cake of pu'er, you drink it once, it's like, and it just sits there because you're like, I have better tea. I'm just not going to drink it because I have better tea. I'm getting my water. Cheers, guys. Up it up. Yeah, Pizza Rat Guy one. Hey, we went through like 5 months of making this Pizza Rat cup, and it never occurred to me to put it on a Guy one. And you'd think I would have thought of that, but I did not. I'm going to take that down. Send me a private message, and if we make one, I'll send you one for free. Whoever came up with the idea of the Pizza Rat Guy one. Abracadabra says, oh, it's the first time I caught an Instagram live. Oh, speaking of live, that's part of the reason I'm here. We're doing a launch event in LA, 10 a.m. in LA. The live event starts at 11. If you're in LA, go to my Instagram story. There's a link. If you want to come to in-person tea with me and play our comedy quiz game, at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time, 7 o'clock, I think, in the UK, and 8 o'clock in Europe. We're going to be doing a live quiz game with giveaways. So the way this is going to work is, if you want to play, you can just come on to the live stream at that time, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Adjust for your local time zones. Everybody in the world can play. We're going to tell people to log in, put your place, so for instance US and your username, UK and your username, blah blah blah. And the reason we want your region is we're going to be doing a quiz game where you can play on your phone, watch on like a screen, play on your phone, and answer quiz questions about tea. And it's timed, so I'm gonna host a game show. I'm gonna tell you guys, all right, the next answer, is it A, is it B, is it C, is it D? You can pick on your phone, and the top 2 winners from every region, 2 from the live event in LA, 2 from the US, 2 from Canada, 2 from the UK, and 2 from the EU, 10 winners are going to get prizes. The top prize is a Blue-Eyed Gaiwan tea set, and a full green tea sampler, so all 3 of the green tea samplers. And then the runner-up prize is a 2-cup teapot set and a oolong sampler. So the runner-up prize is worth like $90. And the big prize is worth, what's that? 68 plus 68. So that'd be like $136 plus free shipping. So the it's going to be a lot of fun. It's I'm trying to think of like, what do you do with a international online tea house? And so this is what I'm trying to do. It's like, we'll play some games. If you're in LA, you can go to my Instagram story. There's a sign up link. Instagram is just Jesse's Tea House. And if you go to the story, there's a sign up link. It'll tell you where the event is in LA. I think we still have some slots left. We have like, I think 17 people signed up, and I have 24 or 25 slots. So there's a couple left if you're in LA and you want to come this Saturday. So choose. People are saying, what is the kettle that I use to heat the water? This is a Brewista V-neck kettle. I used to have these on the website, but then Brewista like kicked off all their people. This was the only thing on the website that wasn't Jesse's Tea House branded. All the other stuff is like my tea that I source, and we make all the packaging, we do everything. This one, I was like, I don't want to just make a kettle with no experience. So I was selling theirs, but they just like took all their people like me off. I can't sell their stuff anymore. So I'm actually looking into maybe developing my own kettle, because I have a lot of opinions about this stuff. Like a lot of the kettles I think are overpriced. I don't know for sure, because I'm just in the beginning of my research phase, but I think I'd be able to sell a good kettle at around $100 that has to the degree precision and is like pretty good quality. All of the kettles that are sold in the Western market, it's only a couple of factories in China. Once you start like going to China a lot and talking to factories there, like you ask them like, hey, do you make kettles? And they're like, oh yeah, we make kettles for blah blah blah. And it's like all the big brands, it's like one dude in his one kettle factory, and a lot of the kettles are made by the same couple factories. So like, you can get the quality. People oftentimes complain about this, like, oh, Chinese goods are shit. You should block the Chinese goods because they're crap. I'm like, if the Chinese goods are crap, it meant that the American entrepreneur is paying them not enough money. And you're getting bad quality because Americans like cheap stuff. Sorry, there are occasionally factories that'll cheat people over, but like, it's like Darwinian. Like, if a factory just comes out with crappy stuff for the same price, another factory outcompetes them. If your stuff sucks, it's because the entrepreneur or the company, the corporation that's selling it to you, is not paying enough for the quality. Because you can get as good quality as you want if you pay, and they're trying to cut $1 off here, $1 off there. Rant over. Brian says it's crazy how many brands are like that export their manufacturing. There's a lot of fighting about this now in the world about whether these jobs should or shouldn't be exported. My take is that, you know, I think 25 years ago, American manufacturing was up near the top of the world for a lot of stuff. And for some things it still is, a lot of high-tech stuff. But if you want to make a glass pitcher, it's like, how much better can you make this? This is made really well in China. It's glass. How much better can you make it? There's a lot of stuff like that out there. Even for porcelain. We sell traditional Chinese porcelain. How could Americans make this better than Chinese people? They don't even know what it is. So like, I think that there's, like, all of this stuff is like, there is some reasonable logic behind some of it, but it's all being applied at this very flat, like, bad, good. You know, what's the product? Who's making it? What skills are needed? Who's got the money? Who's got the expertise? If you really make a better product, like, it'll show. I think a lot of this stuff that people complain about is just the people don't want to compete, so it's easy to like whine about, oh, Chinese factories are out competing us. Start your own, man. Go ahead, do it. Buy a plot of land and build a factory. It's really hard. The people in China work really hard. And the people in American factories work really hard, and we see what comes out better. Just my take. Very, very cool. Questions over here. Dynamic Typo says, I took my barista apart and also have opinions that I can share on what makes it one better. Sorry for the repost. Oh, yeah, send me a message. Message me whatever you think. I'm like, I've talked already to one of my sourcing guys there who helps me find these factories, but he's not a Kettle guy. So eventually I'm going to have to meet some Kettle boss and know enough about kettles to know whether I'm being hoodwinked. But that's the way it's going to work. Questions. Hey Jesse, any news when the Hourglass Tea Maker will be on stock? I've got an eye on that, John. There we go. I thought it was in stock. I guess if it's not, we should either be getting a new shipment of it soon, or I don't think we're stopping that one. So I'll go and check. I'll go check after this live stream. Sorry for that. Great questions over here. By the way, if you've joined late, I'm drinking the Red Jade Red Tea. This is going to be launching at midnight as part of the new subscription tea club box, along with the rat tea pet and the pizza rat teacup, which we had hand drawn by an artist in China who spent many years acquiring genuine cultural ability so that we could send them a picture of a rat eating pizza in a Mandarin robe. And I told them, I want this rat to be like a retired Confucian official. And all that he has to do now is sit next to the subway that runs through his land and eat pizza and think about poetry. And that was what I asked. And it's beautiful. Beautiful world we need the original. Oh, now we need to airship it over from China because they didn't tell us they needed the original. Who needs the original? Come on. Anyway, I could literally rant for 10 hours about this sort of crap. Anyway, cheers. Oh, very good. Is the sound back on? I'm sorry, I was getting a phone call, so maybe the sound went off while I was getting a phone call. So, Wishing says, just ordered, so excited. Thank you so much. By the way, if you just make an order while you're on the stream, tell me, and I will I need a second tea pet so you can choose. I usually give you a choice which tea pet you want the tea poured on. I'm getting another tea pet. I'm gonna bring on the big guy. This is Lorp. Lorp is one of the first tea pets I ever got. It actually may be the first tea pet I ever, no, second tea pet I got. I got a sheep before this guy. And Lorp is a baller. And so, wishing if you can tell me who you want the tea poured on, we can give the tea to the rat or to Lorp. Let me know which one you want. That's from Wishing Snow. So tell me which one you want, and I'll pour it on them. Very, very cool. Randomness says, oh, you ordered the Black Jasmine for Lorp. I'll do it. Bam. There we go. Thank you, Lorp. Thank you for your order. I appreciate it. Let's go Rat from Wishing. There we go. Baller. They appreciate you guys so much. I appreciate you guys so much. Really, I do. I mean, this, I'm going to tell you the truth is the last couple months have been very stressful because we grew a lot last year. Last year was awesome. And I hired a bunch of people because my mentality is that I don't really need money right now. Like, I'm a single guy. I'm not putting any kids through college or anything. What I need is time, and I need like help to get this thing going so that we can really make tea a thing. Like, I want to bring tea to the world. Lipton's not going to do it. Like, I don't think any, like, I see it like all there out in front of me. I didn't when I started, but now I'm like, who else can do that? Like, you know, the tea is really good in China, and no one's really figured out a way to get a lot of it out and get it to people and have them know what they're drinking and all that sort of stuff. So I hired a full-time personal assistant, which was a big leap for me. Because like American salary, Marissa, you've seen her on our videos, we brought her to China along with the rest of the team. I flew my whole tea team to China. Like, I'm trying to do things the right way. And it all looked good until the trade war. And now it's just like, I know for a fact, I will not know what's going on with my business for 4 years. It's gonna change every 90 days. Whatever agreements are signed, they're gonna be reversed in a year. We just know that this is a period of trade instability I've never lived through as an American before. And so my reaction to this is I'm going to try to make our EU and UK and Canadian shops better. By importing there directly, I don't need to worry about American tax rules. I'm going to follow all the rules in America. If American tea gets expensive because the politicians want to make it expensive, I don't have control over that. But it's scary because I just invested all this money and hired all these people, and now all of a sudden we couldn't import tea. We just got our first shipments in since January. If you notice, half the website was out. The tea resins sell great. We haven't had any since like January. Like, you know. So we just have to gut through this. And it's frustrating because even the Fortune 500 companies don't know what to do. Like, I have a friend who's a lawyer. He does U.S.-China trade law. Good guy to know. I call him up during all the trade war stuff. I'm like, what's the law now? He's like, no one knows. No one knows, and no one knows. It's just no one knows. No one's gonna know. It's not clear if the law. It's not even clear if the law will be followed. If it's politically inconvenient for the law to be followed, will it be followed? We don't know. So I'm actually kind of back into China mode. In China, the power is all the way at the top. Very few people have all the power, and they're focused primarily on politics. Doesn't mean that they hate the country. They're obviously trying to do what they think is the right thing to do. But in doing so with a focus on politics first and trade second, it's hard for people that do trade. So I have to guess based off of American political leanings, what I think the trade law is going to be in 6 months. It's hard to do business, so we're figuring it out. Somebody asking it's a recording. No, it's not. It is 7:38 p.m. in California. This is not a trade, not a recording. So that's the way to do it. People are saying over here, people are saying I'm still muted. How could I still be muted? I don't know if that's working. I'm gonna reset the camera and see if that works. I don't know if that works. How could I be muted though? I don't know what's going on. How could I be muted? I didn't do anything. I'm gonna rejoin it. I'm gonna rejoin the live stream. There we go. I have TikTok over here, YouTube over here, and Instagram over here. So Instagram people were complaining. I'm glad to hear everything's good. One day they'll come up with software that lets me do all of this in one phone. Right now I have 3 phones there. I would not normally have 3 phones, except that I had one when I came back from China. I got a second one because when I signed up for my American phone plan, it came with a phone. And then I got a third because my phone is my main work tool, and so when the new iPhone came out, I'm like, you deserve to have a good one. And also that means I can shoot 3 camera shows now by myself, which is great. Questions, how do I get the spill mat that you have? If you're referring to the circular tea table, this is on my website. It's called the circular tea tray. This is the medium size. There's also a smaller one. It's funny, there's a medium and a small. There was also a large, but then we were going to do the large, and then I did testing to see how much it would cost to ship to people, and it was just too big. It was too bulky. So I was like, in the end, we only went with the medium, which is plenty big. As you have 2 teapots on here, all my tea stuff, plenty big for one person. Really, you could have multiple people there. I'd say this is good for up to 4 people. So that's the way to do it. Questions over here. Man's got more phones than LA Connect. Hey, love it. Thank you so much, Shamalamala, Dingleberry. Questions over here. Audio died right as you answered my question. Have you watched The Never Ending Story? I have, but it was a long time ago, and I remember the Never Ending Story theme, and there was like a dog with a long beard who was also a dragon. It was great. Questions over here. I'm gonna have to try to cop one of those loose leaves. I work with people in Taiwan and they're huge on it. Tomorrow, Taiwanese red jade hitting the website. Tomorrow, or like midnight, tonight, stream is launching. Be there. It's the place to be. Instagram people, is my audio working now? I had to cancel out and we lost all the streamers, and hopefully some of them are coming back because I couldn't figure out why it was muted. I don't know. The world is a weird place. Questions over here. Hero the One, do you have any advice for finding a good 2010 tea? I want to buy a tea for my birth year and want to make sure I have a good one. I get that. I'd really like to. Do we have it? Is that? I'm trying to remember if the 10-year age is from 2010. It might be. Go on my website and search up Dway Dway's 10-year reserve. Check the date on that one on the website. I forget off my head if the 10-year reserve refers to 2010 or if it refers to 10 years old on the time that I bought it. Because in Chinese it's ambiguous. In Chinese the name is 10年仓, 10-year reserve. But 10年could be 2010. So, I don't know. People saying it's a blank screen. What the hell's going on? I just lost Instagram. Whatever. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what happened. Maybe somebody reported me. I don't know. That's upsetting. Haters. Mikey says, how is shipping to Canada working now? So the Canadian warehouse is going to open in just a few days. Starting tonight, we're going to launch the new website. And when that happens, it will automatically detect your region. And tomorrow, it'll start having a launch screen that says, hey guys, we're a couple days out from opening in Canada, be patient. In the meantime, you can check out the US shop because the US shop is going to have basically all the same stuff the Canadian shop has. And then in a couple days, when everything is done, the shop will automatically direct you to the Canadian website, and it will automatically ship to you from either Vancouver or Toronto, depending on which is closer. We were only going to open one, but the company that we're working with actually had 2, and they're like, we can just do both. I'm like, sure, great. Great. Jordan Sykes says, have to say, ever since I discovered your tea videos and tea website, it's literally become my new favorite hobby. Awesome. Every tree I've tried has been excellent. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Jordan. I'm glad to have you here. I'm going to get my water. Gonna There we go. And again, reminder to everybody, Saturday, 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. We have a live launch party where we're going to be playing a quiz game. You can play on your phone. Prepare 2 screens, either 2 phones or you're watching the stream on your one screen and you're playing on another. An iPad will work. But if you have the 2 screens, you can play our launch game. LAPD is flying a helicopter right next to my balcony. Find the guy who vandalized my motorcycle. They haven't done anything about that. Anyway. Too Much Dog says it's having the Mogan Shanti. I love Mogan Shanti. I'm really upset we couldn't get the papers in time. We were going to have the Mogan Shanti this year again, but they couldn't get the EU compliance papers. So they're actually working on that, and hopefully next year we'll have them. It's kind of upsetting, but that's the way. Questions. How does this chrysanthemum tea taste? I want to try it since it's traditional, but I'm afraid it'll be too fruity from the goji berries. It's light. It's pretty light and pretty floral. I actually personally think the best use of that is to add it to other teas. So whatever you're drinking, add a packet, and now it has a chrysanthemum goji berry taste. It's light, it's sweet, it's clean. If anybody in the chat has tried it, you can give your review as well. The red jade here, we say that it can do 6 steeps. This is at least 6 steeps. I'd say this is probably the 6th steep or about that. Looking pretty nice, honestly. Very nice, very clean. Look at that. Very pretty. Cheers. How long is Pizza Rat going to be on the shop? Until we run out. Hopefully we're going to, if we run out, we'll restock him. Although, with the trade situation being the way it is now, no guarantees on restocks. I just cannot, as a human being, tell you when stuff will or will not be able to be imported. We live in a world of chaos. We're going backwards, people. We used to live in this, like, wasn't that long ago, 10 years ago. Just send it over. It was easy. Not anymore. Everything's hard. Question over, will Pizza Rat be on the silver tea? That would be a high-end thing if we had Pizza Rat on a silver teacup. I am very tempted. Even if just for myself. Good ideas coming from the chat. Just saying. Hookab says, what tea do you wish you could find for the shop? That's a great question. I definitely want an affordable, good yellow tea. I have a concept for a tea box that I'm going to probably do in the future where we get 1 crop of white tea, and because white tea is made by, in Fujian, they separate the grades of white tea, all leaves, 1 bud, 1 leaf, 1 bud, 2 leaves, all buds, into 4 different types. I want to have 1 white tea box from 1 crop where they've separated leaves. You have 4 different types of tea in 1 box from 1 crop. I think that would be really cool. Yancha, rock tea. I'm always on the lookout for good rock tea. Also the dancong, like the dancong oolongs, dancong oolong tea. That's going to be a thing. Again, that's hard because it's kind of in a boom right now in China, and generally I try to avoid whatever is booming in China, not because it's bad, but because Chinese people are knocking up the price. The dancong that like 4 years ago I could get for like, you know, it's like double for the same quality as what I could get 4 years ago. But it's not twice as good, it's the same quality. It's just expensive because Chinese people are bidding up the price. I'm also thinking of making a Jesse's Teapot silver teapot, like commissioning a design. And then because our silver teapots are all handcrafted from sheet silver by hand over like 10 days, that's why they're so expensive. It's pure 999 silver and it's handcrafted, hand fabricated. But making a Jesse's Tea House theme with our name on it and maybe some other elements of the tea house for myself, and if anyone wants to spend what would probably be $800 on a Jesse's silver teapot, you could do that. They make them 1 at a time by hand, so, you know, That would be the way. Somebody says duck shit. That actually is on the list. The duck shit oolong. I want to do that. Very, very good. People say I want to get the 100 flowers teacup and my own nugget. 100 flowers will be the nuggets teapot. I love it. People are saying you to save up a couple shifts, but you buy the silver teapot. I almost didn't put those on the site because they are very expensive, but it's hand fabricated pure silver. And it's like, you know, I don't want anyone going into debt for a tea, but like if you got the money and you want a great silver teapot, that's the sort of stuff you just cannot buy in America. It's hand fabricated, like by 5th generation silversmiths. So awesome. People saving teacup. We are looking at doing silver teacups. That actually is on our list. We've actually already started the process of researching that. We're also potentially going to have some other silver stuff. I don't know if you've seen it on my Instagram stories. I shared it, but we have designs to do silver tea themed jewelry. We have the character like Cha, like in silver as a necklace. And we have another couple other things that are also from the Silver Village, handmade silver jewelry. If everything goes well, that's going to be on sale before Christmas. So that's something that we're definitely looking for. Somebody with a Japanese name says, 请我们再喝一杯，喝一杯。哎，可以吧？欢迎欢迎。I second Gary's question about the music among song. I love that one, but I missed the question. Hold on, I need to go back and find Gary's question. Gary, have a question with the music among song. Will it ever run out, or at least a 2020 version? It's unlikely that that will run out because that's my tea guy, Yunqing's tea. He sources that himself. He has a whole bunch of it in his warehouse in Yunnan, and it's like his brand. So that's not the sort of tea that's going to run out because, like, I expect he has a ton of it. Also, like, as much as I'm feeling like a big tea boss in America, the numbers we run are not big compared to China. Like, Chinese people drink a lot of really good tea. And so the whole foreign market is not that huge. Ancient tree tea is hard to get, so it's possible it'd run out, but like, very unlikely. More likely is that eventually the price will go up a little, but this is also part of the thing about having a tea guy that I've tried to hold as well. Even when the price goes up for me, I try not to raise it on the website, unless I really have to. Because this is part of what it means to have a tea guy. Is like when I go to Yinqing and get the 2020, and I've been getting the 2020 over and over and over again, he's like, I'm going to make my money somewhere else. Jesse's a good customer. He buys a lot of tea. I've known him for years. He doesn't need another, whatever, $10 or $20 a kilogram from me. So if somebody else walks into the shop and they want the 2020, it's going to be more expensive. If I walk in, he tries to keep the price there as flat as possible. And so I think that's, I think it's unlikely that it'll go up. And I try to keep the prices as well. Like, we have to pay more, like, we lost $5,000 from this whole debacle with our shipment in the UK getting messed up. I'm not going to raise the price in the UK. If I wanted to make my money back in the UK, I'd have to raise the price. But it's not the customer's fault. This is the risk I take on by being a businessman. And it sucks because, like, that's a lot of money to lose for nothing and to be late and have all our UK friends upset, but that's the reality. I sent every paper they wanted. I worked 14 months on that shipment, and they still rejected it, because it's crazy. But that's, you know, but it means, you know, this is the cost of being able to be a business person. And I'm not like a corporatist, but like, I think regular people don't understand the risks that people take doing business, and I think big businesses are playing with somebody else's money. I'm not playing with anyone else's money. If I lose $5,000, I just lose $5,000. There's no insurance that you can buy on that. There's no, you know, just lose the money. So, but as a tea guy, I don't want to take that out on you. So all I can do is just try to make better videos and get more people there, and just, you know, if every customer bought one more thing of tea a year, we make it back and more. So that'd be great. That's what I'm trying to do. Randomness says, with this tea, as the price goes up, I work a few overnight shifts. Totally worth it. Lifetime fan. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Hopefully we can keep you up during those nighttime shifts. Dude, if I work nights, I would want tea as well. Questions from Ali says, what's the best way to have multiple sips of tea but in my room instead of the kitchen? I mean, I have a tray like this, like, you know, you could bring the tray into your room. Yeah, that probably works. Even if it's not a dedicated tea tray, any sort of serving tray, put the whole operation on there and bring it to your room. GABA says, Jesse, you're a small business owner, and that's why I primarily buy from you. Thanks so much. I do appreciate it. It's hard. We're trying to do the right thing. We're trying to be right to our employees. We brought our entire tea team to China. I flew 3 people from China, 2 from the Philippines, and 4 from the U.S. all over China this spring. We have lots of videos on that. If you haven't watched it, and most people haven't because it's a long video on YouTube and they don't share it with anyone, go to our YouTube page and check our long video and watch the like 20-minute video of our entire team sharing their favorite parts from the China trip. It's one of the best things we've ever made, and nobody watches it because it's like not viral material. I should have named it like top 10 things our tea team learned or something like that. But some people watched it. Somebody's, Gary says, I watched it. I watched every video. Gary, OG. We should all be like Gary. Dude, if YouTube ever starts sharing my long videos, it's on. I would love nothing more than to make high quality long videos on YouTube about tea for you guys. Just don't show it to anybody. It costs like 20 times more to make a long video than a short one, and they don't show it to anybody. But it had to be done. We couldn't bring a whole team to Yunnan and not make a video. So, very, very fun. People saying it was super fun seeing the China trip. Yeah, tell me what you thought about if you did watch as I was there, like what was it like seeing the trip and seeing our people and seeing the highlights from our team? It was a ton of fun to be there. It was really a trip of a lifetime. Like, we spent 2 weeks. Like, I brought the whole company out there for 2 weeks. It was intense. It was a lot of fun. Roll dice! Do you know the Brandeis fight song? It was in a school of higher learning in the town of Waltham, Mass. Comes a new block of freshmen to make up the freshman class. Though they may be strange and awkward, potentially they're fine. Give that old Brandeis spirit just a little bit of time. Oh, Louis Brandeis of old, you're a spirit we hold for the tale of your life. Shows a spirit so bold, and we're thinking of you as we're drinking our brew, as we toast our alma mater, Brandeis U. Bop, bop, bop. Bet you didn't know that Brandeis had a fight song, but we do. You gotta hit it. Big Brandeis fight song. Anyway, I'm sorry. Everybody was telling me about the China trip, and I got distracted by a lot in here. People are jealous of the tea trip. One day we'll do tea. One day we'll do tea. One day we'll do like tea, vacations or something like that. I really want to. I just don't know how to do it. There's a lot of responsibility involved. I need to know all the hospitals in every way, and there's long car rides and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, people are asking, where am I? It's so light out. This is Los Angeles, California. I'm in downtown Los Angeles, craziness capital of the United States. It's almost as crazy as China, but a lot fewer Chinese people here. All the Chinese people are in that direction. But, you know, dude, Los Angeles, man, everybody, like, hates on LA, but, like, look at the sunset, man. You know, I'm not doing this. I have too many tripods and stuff to knock over. Sunset's beautiful, man. I grew up in Boston and I lived in Beijing. I was either in Boston or Beijing for 30 winters, and it's just so nice to be in a place where it's warm out, man. And it's not even that hot in the summer. It's been like 75 degrees. That's like 20 Celsius. It's not that bad. So thanks so much, Zeke, and all the people who are sending the lightning bolts, the ice creams. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. More long videos. How did I become interested in tea? That's a great question from Andrew. I was not into tea. Thank you, Zach, for the heart. I was not into tea when I moved to China. Uh, when I moved to China, I was looking for places that I could go to practice Chinese, but that felt like real. Like a lot of times, like when you try to practice a language, it feels kind of fake. Like you're like, talk to each other, that sort of thing. And I found, I had a friend who invited me to the Beijing Tea Market. And the Beijing Tea Market is one of my favorite places on earth. It's like 3 miles long. There's buildings on both sides, thousands of tea shops. You can spend the whole day there going in and out of places, tea equipment. I bought Lorp, this tea pet, at the Beijing Tea Market. And when I went there, I'm like, this is the best. You sit down, people make you tea for free. You can buy some if you want, but you don't have to. But the tea is really good, so I would always buy a little, thank you. I can speak all day. They'll just talk to you all day. I got great Chinese practice. And when you drink tea, you talk about the tea. And so I would start to talk about the tea, and it kind of became a hobby of mine. And then, as you guys know, the Chinese tea is really good. And so I bought a tea table when I moved to China. The first thing I did, the first day, I bought a tea table and I bought an electric bike. And I'm like, I'm ready to go out and get it, man. And I was like, it's the way to live. So I had the tea table and I had the electric bike. And I just kind of drank a lot of tea. I would basically have, because I was a comedian there, so my work was at night. I would wake up at like 9 or 9:30. I would laze around in bed. I would have a little bit of breakfast and a snack. I'd drink my tea, and then I'd be ready to go and hit the day. I get started late, but I had to have energy all the way through, 10 p.m., 11 p.m. for the comedy shows, or even later if we were shooting TV. I never shoot a Chinese TV show. It's horrible. There's no unions. I didn't do as much of it as I could have. There were shows I just was up until 3 a.m., 4 a.m. uselessly. They just were not on top of their shit. Anyway, but yeah, and then I kind of got more and more into it. And then when I would do comedy shows on the road, if I'm performing on Hangzhou, if I'm performing in Kunming, if I'm performing in any of these places that are even Shanghai nearby, there's a lot of tea near Shanghai. I would take a couple extra days and I'd go up into the mountains and I meet the tea farmers and I get their WeChat. And then when COVID hit, I was stuck in America and running out of tea. And I was getting my tea from my people on WeChat. And I was like, how are Americans going to get their tea? And so the combination of me not being able to perform in China because I was stuck in America because of COVID, because they closed the border and, canceled my visa, I basically got exiled back to my own country. So I didn't have any shows to do, and I was trying to figure out a way to make a living, and I was like, I'm going to see if, would anyone want this tea? And then everybody was like, yeah, we'd buy it. And I'm like, really? I don't believe you. But people put down pre-orders. That was the thing that really did it for me. I was like, I don't know if I would have been brave enough to just spend the cash and hope people bought it, but people pre-ordered it. They put the cash down ahead of time, $40 for the original 4T sampler. And I pre-ordered 500 of them. I was expecting I'd buy 100, and then if I sold one a day, that would get me, 3 months worth of time to figure out what to do. We pre-ordered 500 of them. I had a whole weekend, 8-hour days with me and my parents and my synagogue and my high school Chinese program. 15 of us back during COVID wearing masks, working 8 hours a day, packing tea boxes. And that was in June of 2021. And now it's August of 2020, or it's going to be August tomorrow, 2025, 4 years. It's been a wild journey. We should really do in January, do some sort of 5-year video of the history of the tea company. That'd be great. Yeah, let me know what you'd want to see in a 5-year video, just whatever sort of stuff you'd want to see. Welcome everybody, by the way. Thank you so much for the gifts, the perfumes and everything. Thank you so much. If you guys love the content and you want to support, you don't need to give a gift on the thing. Go to the website, get some tea. That's the best way we can all support each other. This whole thing works if everybody buys tea. The amount of like push out to the that these videos can go out on the internet is insane. But it's like this many people watch, this many people like, this many people go to the site, this many people buy. That being said, you don't need that many people. I don't need $1 bajillion. I just need to be able to pay my employees and support my team and fly back and forth to China. That's already pretty damn good. So that's my goal. Captain Supreme, I hung out with Jonathan Pitts when he was in Hawaii a few months ago. That's awesome. Improv guy. Love Jonathan. I got to do more improv, man. I miss that the most from my time in China. For years, I ran an improv school in China. I ran a theater. Oh, the mustache. I ran a theater. I did an improv show in Chinese every Friday with my group for 5 years in a row. Some of the best times of my life doing improv. I love improv, man. That's great. You got to do it. You should do a tea house improv troupe. Anyone's in LA. People saying, Freak says, I'm trying to stay up to place an order, can't order yet. You can stay up if you want. It'll be available tomorrow morning when you get on. You don't need to worry too much about it. Also, at some point this morning, at like 2 a.m. or whatever, the website's going to go down for an hour or two while we switch to the new website. So, yeah, that's the way it's going to be. Question, Yukub says, I would love a 5-year video. I watched a small business owner do a video of his pen company, and it was one of the best videos I've ever watched on YouTube. We should really put a good thing in there. And again, thank you so much, Zeke, for the hearts. Let's see. Do they do that in America? In Asia, they do this thing. It's like a heart. See? Beautiful, guys. Love it. Gary says, I'm subscribed to the other channel with Chinese content. Keep an eye on that one because it's going to blow up. I'm going to start posting a lot more in the coming months because my book on Chinese comedy, I've been writing this book for 7 years. I sold the book to Avid Press at Simon & Schuster, and I delivered the final draft like 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to do a book tour. I'm going to try to go all out. I have the agent here in Hollywood. I'm going to be like, get me on late night. I want to do it. I don't know if we're going to succeed, but I'm definitely doing a book tour. And I'm going to post a lot of content about Chinese comedy for all those people who are curious about Chinese comedy. And if you want to read the book, it's going to be available for pre-order. It's actually already available for pre-order if you go on Amazon, I think. The book is called This Was Funnier in China. I'm going to make a lot of content on there, do a lot more Chinese comedy shows. I'm going to try to build up more English and Chinese comedy content. So thank you so much. Zeke, thank you again so much for the gifts. I really appreciate it. It's always great to get a couple of gifts on there. Make my 15 cents. It's just nice that people are watching. I mean, you guys don't need to send gifts. I'm just glad to be able to do some tea with you guys and enjoy this beautiful sunset out on the porch. Is it 8? Oh damn, it's 8 o'clock. I haven't eaten dinner yet. I think it has been I think I deserve like a pizza or something like that. It's been so nutty to get this stuff to you guys. The craziness that the trade war created. Like, I can't even go into it. I flew my whole tea company to China. I told them that they're going, and then the trade war hits 3 days before we go. Everybody in my company is like, 1, are we going to China? 2, are we fired? Like, what's going on? Because you can't import tea anymore. I'm like, you're right, we can't. It was pretty rough. We had to gut through it. That being said, I feel like we all came out stronger on the other end of it because we committed to each other. Also, my tea farmers, great people. Like, they were so nice to us in the middle of the trade war when they knew that we couldn't buy anything. Our farmers treated 14 people out to dinner. A lot of our lodging was paid for by our tea farmers, either putting us up at their place or finding hotels for us. People were so nice to us. So 14 people. And they knew we couldn't buy anything from them. And it was just like, this is why the thing is like, the whole argument around all this trade stuff, they're cheating us, it's cheating. I'm like, you guys are not living in the reality of your eyes and ears and mouth and mind. It's a manipulation of people's thoughts. And it's very frustrating because when you go there and you meet the people and you meet the farmers, it's just like all this stuff could not be further from reality. And I'm not saying that there's not a factory in China that cheated somebody. I think that it's just like, you know, honestly, my personal opinion is a lot of the people who are responsible for the problem are American companies that sent the jobs overseas and didn't pay taxes. If there had been an offshoring tax and you had to pay a tax to offshore your people, that money could have really helped people. Instead, we're kind of paying that now, but it's being paid by consumers through the tariff. We have the papers of the people who offshored the jobs. They had to declare it in their taxes 10 years ago. Go back and look up at who actually did the offshoring and tax them. It's not a secret. It's just it's the big companies. They want to spread the damage out over all the individual consumers. Even if all of their logic is true, why have the consumers pay? Go get the people who offshore the job and have them pay. I don't know. Political rant over. Just my opinion. Fermathulian says, watching your video about your trip, you can tell how awesome everybody was. You, your employees, your tea farmers you collaborate with. It's so great. I'm so glad. Tea people are great. This is one of the reasons I did all that improv as well. Improv people are great. Tea people are great. Some communities, it's just like, you don't have a lot of assholes. You know, I do entertainment. You get a lot of not so great people in entertainment and in like film and like, you know, just entertainment in general. But the tea people are all awesome. Almost awesome. Rihanna says, I just pre-ordered your book. Yay! Thank you guys so much. Well, no rush to do it now, but This Was Funnier in China. The book is called This Was Funnier in China. It's going to come out Chinese New Year next year. I'm going to be making a lot of content about it. If you're on this live stream, by the end of it, you will have heard about it. And I'm going to try to get it onto the shop as well. I'm going to try to see if I can get like the pre-order and the actual book onto the website so you can order it with all your other stuff. We're working on it. You know, the people are saying supremacists, the China stand-up comedy scene is all... Stand-up is a mixed bag. I love the stand-ups, but what I love about the stand-ups is that stand-up comedians are the most able to like have people they work with that they disagree with very strongly, and they all drink beer together and do the same show. Like as a stand-up, the last thing I would ever do is tell you what jokes to say. I could disagree with you really, really badly, but we have a way of living together, and honestly, we need that right now. Like, the whole world is tearing itself apart over stupid crap. Even the really important stuff that people are fighting about, the discussion is largely stupid. And we need to find a way to be able to live with the people that we disagree with. By the way, thank you for that corgi super statement. I love it. It should be fun. There are pretty stand-up people. The stand-up comedians tend not to be too good-looking. I know a couple stand-ups who are good-looking, and it's a problem for them. They complain about it too, and people give them shit. I think they're telling the truth. But, you know, being pretty is generally helpful in general. Will you sell tea on the shop? Wait, what does it say? Doing Sumania, will you sell tea oil on the shop? I want some on my pizza. I have. I'm going to show you this. Stay there. This is Baozhong tea oil from Taiwan. When I was in Taiwan, I got a big bottle of this oil. It's made from the tea tree, and it's all like hand pressed in the village of Pinglin, like this tiny place. And this is really good with like fried eggs or stuff like that. It's got a little nutty flavor to it. I wish food importing were as easy as I wanted it to be. Believe me, if I didn't need to deal with the papers for importing, I would have a whole shop of Chinese food stuff. In fact, I may wind up doing it someday. But I only have 24 hours in a day, and I try to not overwhelm myself with work, and I fail already. I work too much. And one day, though, I need to find a partner. I need to find somebody I'm just like, I'll give you some of the profit. I just never want to see a single paper. I want to pick the shit, and then you get it through. That's why we don't have tea snacks on the website too, because like the food packaging and importing laws are so complicated. Like I just want to find somebody who knows how to do that, and they do it. The problem is that when they do that, you need to buy like shipping containers of food. You can't just like buy a little. I'm very curious how those like Japan box people that have like Japanese snack boxes, very curious how they do that. I have no idea. It's crazy. But yeah, that's the Baozhong oil. By the way, how pretty is this? Sunset. Oh, good stuff, man. I needed this. I'm glad that I did this live stream because I've been so stressed. I worked so hard to try to have all the warehouses open on August 1st. If you're just joining, we are opening our Canadian and UK warehouses. They're all going to be a couple days delayed. That's just reality, man. I really wish I could tell you otherwise, but it's like I had all my shit there 2 weeks early, and customs just doesn't do their job. Or they reject half of the packages and send them back. We had them, in England, they rejected one of the subscription teas, but now I can't sell the whole thing. In England, they rejected the Bilo Chun tea, and I have to send it back, and now I can't send out any of the teas. I'm like, crazy, man. But I also can't not send it because we invested all this money based off of the pre-orders, and so I can't like not sell it because then I just lose money that way, and you guys don't get your tea. So it's like I'm stuck either way. The only way to do it is to come on and tell you guys I tried. I really did try. We didn't fail. It's just late. It's like no other company in the world is like saying August 1st and like pulling it off except for Apple. It's actually an unreasonable expectation that I put on myself. And it's kind of good to know that. Even my tea guys in China, no one's ever like, this is the day. I gotta stop doing that to myself and just like being specific. I know everybody wants to know when it's coming and they don't like hearing vaguely late, whatever month, but it's just like, it's in the new trade reality, I'm not sure that I can be as precise. I definitely can't be as precise as I want to be. And I kind of beat myself up about that, which is needless. But last thing, otherwise I'm not going to be able to go to sleep. We got you. Jewish Chinese comedian. There we go. Kyle. Big thanks. Are you saying that you are a Jewish Chinese comedian, tea friend? If you are, that's awesome. We got to start a Facebook group of there actually is a Facebook group if you search it up. It's Jewish comedians in China. There's like 4 of us in there. Very, very funny. Jessica May says, maybe you've answered this question, but who are your comedic influences? So this is what the book is about. I did improv and stand-up, improv mostly, but like comedy stuff in America when I was in high school and college. When I graduated from college, my first job was apprenticing to a master comedian in China as a Fulbright scholar. The Fulbright program in China was canceled by President Trump in his first term. But before that, it was an international academic exchange where American scholars go to China and Chinese scholars go to America, and we learn about each other. The thinking being the more we learn about each other, the less we're going to fight. And I don't know, maybe that's why it's being canceled, so we can fight easier. But the program was really an amazing program. I was very fortunate that I got this grant. It wasn't a ton of money, but it allowed me to go to China and apprentice to a master comedian. And then after the first year, when my scholarship ran out, I was just like, this is so much fun, I'm going to keep doing it. And I wound up apprenticing to him for 7 years before he passed away. His name is Ding Guangquan, Master Ding. And the book that's going to be published in February by Simon & Schuster, that I wrote, and I delivered the final draft last week. The book is about my time studying with Master Ding, learning about Chinese comedy. He was, in Chinese, the word for master is shifu. Shi is teacher, fu is not, there's 2 shifus. The fu character in shifu master is fu qin. It's the word for father. He basically was an adopted father to me. So his comedy, the way he did his comedy, you see it, the moment you read this book, you're going to understand why I run this tea company like this. He was so, he balanced this line of being accepting to everyone. He was a celebrity. He was like known. He performed comedy. When Mao Zedong wanted comedy performed, he would call my master's master, who would bring him with him. He's like top of the line Chinese comedian. He's a famous dude, but anybody who wants to learn xiangsheng can come and take a class with him. He was open, but also he had very high expectations for not just, less for your performance, more for your character. He's like, Do you show up? Do you learn your lines? Do I need to tell you to rehearse? If I need to tell you to rehearse, it's done. Why are you here? You're wasting my time, you're wasting your time. He had disciples from 60 countries in a time where China was very closed off to the world. In my mind, like, his life and his way of doing things is the model for how we can all live together, and all for fun, for comedy, for having a good time. Like, why fight? Let's laugh, let's drink tea, let's learn about each other. We can do this in a funny way. It doesn't have to be awkward. It doesn't have to be tense. Like, you know, one of the reasons I've worked so hard to open these UK warehouses, EU warehouses, UK warehouses, like, I want to be that guy for tea. If you're from, you know, Germany, why would I come here and ignore your existence just because, you know, oh, it's just easier for me to sell in America? It's true, it is, but like, I want to be a good tea guy to you too. We have followers in Singapore that they're like, when are you coming here? Eventually I'll get there. You know, I'll bring you the fan, I'll show you. It's fragile, so I don't move it that much, but one moment. If you ever saw my backdrop for all my long videos, you see this fan here. This says here, 爱杰西徒弟拜师留念. 爱杰西 is my Chinese name. 爱杰西弟子 means disciple. 拜师留念, apprenticeship ritual, memorandum, or like a memento, whatever. Over here, Ding Guangquan Shi, so Master Ding Guangquan, 2014, June 21st, his personal seal over here. And on the top here, we have 4 characters. 弄月嘲风, joke the moon and satirize the wind. The idea is that a good comedian should be able to joke about everything between the moon and the wind, which is everything. And that there is a funny and interesting way of talking about anything. In China, this is difficult. Honestly, in America, this is difficult. It's difficult to bring up those difficult topics in a way that people understand. And I think you understand that with the way that I do the tea as well. Like, the moment you learn about Master Ding, you see why I run this tea company the way I do. You know, we hire off of merit. We find a way to have the good tea and get it to people. We try to take care of people by giving instructions and make it so you can feel like you're part of actually enjoying the thing. It's not about getting the leaf to you, although we do that too. It's about the entire thing, like making people feel like they're actually in the tea house, even though it's virtual. And, like, you know, when COVID hit and I lost all my stuff, I paid a friend of mine to break into my apartment and keep this, because I'm like, I am not losing that fan. I'm going to keep this the rest of my life. I actually was thinking of putting this fan on our Jesse's Tea House silver teapot if I ever design a thing, because we have Master Ding's calligraphy that he wrote by hand. So the book is all about studying with him, learning about comedy, but also learning about just life. I mean, he was really like my father over there. And so it is really crazy. It's been, oh God, it's been like 7 years since he passed away. I literally miss him every day. Every single day, I'm like, what would Master Ding do? I'm getting emotional. You gotta stop talking about Master Ding. His voice is really needed right now, and so I'm glad the book is coming out. You can pre-order it. You'll have plenty of time to pre-order. It's coming out in February. It's called This Was Funnier in China. But the I think that ethos is just such a part of how I do what I do. And so, yes, he was a comedy influence, but he was much more than a comedy influence, if you say there. So I'm gonna finish up now. I've been on here for already longer than normal, 100 minutes. Wow, I am super hungry. I'm gonna have a a cheat night, I'm going to order a pizza, and I'm going to eat that pizza, and probably have a whiskey or something like that, because at midnight, the last 6 months of work of our new tea launch is going to hit. The red jade tea and our GABA oolong, our mouse tea pet, rat tea pet, and our pizza rat teacup are all going to be on the website. If you have not subscribed before, and you've been a fan of the channel, subscribe tomorrow when it launches. Be part of our tea club. I'm really trying to make this the best tea club on the internet, in the world, if you think about it that way. And and if you're in Canada, the UK, or EU, there's going to be information on the website about when your warehouses are opening. I'm really sorry it's not going to be tomorrow, but it's going to be within a week to a couple weeks. All of them are actually going fine. It's just customs giving me problems, and I just have no control over that. So I do want to thank you all for being part of the live stream. I really, and people, last thing, somebody saying about tea resin update. Yes, probably tomorrow they'll be back. They've already arrived. It's been 2 days. Usually our warehouse team is able to get them onto the site within a day or two, but we have so much stuff going on with the launch that the team is really overwhelmed. But the resins are already in America. They're coming back. In Canada, they're going to be, all the resins are going to be there later this week or the week after that when the Canadian warehouse opens. In the UK, we have 2 of the resins that passed the pesticide testing. We're not sure why the other 2 didn't pass because they don't have pesticides. But we also don't have money as a small business to figure out why they didn't pass. We bought ancient tree tea. We don't know. But we're figuring that out. In the meantime, the 2 resins that passed, we have a 2 resin sampler that's going to be only in the UK. I expect nobody from the UK is watching because it's like 3 a.m. there, or 4 a.m. And then in the EU, we didn't get any of the resins passed, but we're working on that. It's just wacko. Every country has different laws. But in general, they're going to be back very soon, maybe as early as tomorrow. So it's going to be super, super fun. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm going to go very carefully put this back up on the wall, and I'll see you guys around. Have a great evening, and thank you all so much for your support. Check out the website tomorrow. New launch. It's going to be awesome. Bam.